Hey, 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 Testing 1, 2. Hey. Hi, call me Q. How are you? It's nice to see you. Doing a live is a little bit like walking into the local neighborhood pub or like cafe, and all your favorite people are there. It's just great. It's really fun. Oh, thanks for the heart, Anastasia. I think my favorite use of the word pub is in the movie Galaxy Quest, when the late great, what's his name, the older actor in Galaxy Quest, I can't remember his name, but basically they're up on the alien ship on the Alan Rickman, that's right. There's a moment where they're being attacked, or like they've been through an attack, and Alan Rickman starts to leave the bridge, and the captain's like, "Hey, where are you going?" He's like, "To see if there's a pub." It's really the best moment. I don't know if you've seen the documentary about Galaxy Quest on Amazon Prime, but they talk about how like Galaxy Quest is the best Star Trek movie. It's the best Star Trek movie. Yeah, it really is. And there's actually a moment where they interview Brent Spiner, the guy who played Data, and Brent Spiner was like, he was watching it and he was like, "Oh my God, why didn't we do this?" Alyssa, you haven't seen it? Oh my God. Are you a Star Trek fan, Alyssa? Are you an actual Star Trek fan? Spaceballs is the best Star Wars movie. That is true. That is true. They have you seen the Mel Brooks announcement for the next Spaceballs movie? Oh my God, it's great. I can't believe Mel Brooks is still around, kicking and making movies. That part is just incredible. Wrath of Khan was great. Yeah. Alyssa, stop. Your favorite character's Q? That's mine too. Oh. Besties. Excellent. It's the Q Club. It's the trickster god archetype. which is kind of what that's really what I'm all about anyway. My favorite Q line, if I may, my favorite Q line is oh God, what is it? It's at the end of All Good Things, the very final episode of The Next Generation. And he says something to the effect of, the greatest adventure still awaits. It's not something out there. It's not mapping stars or charting nebula, but exploring the unknown possibilities of existence. And then Picard's like, "What, Q? What are you trying to tell me? There's something that you're not saying." And then Q goes up to his ear and is like about to say something, and then he leans back and is like, "You'll find out." Yeah. What is it all about? Is that all you care about? My ship, my crew? You'll start asking me about your fish, too. They all survived, if you must know. All right, let's see if I can... Let's do that monologue. Let's see. Let's see if I have that. Q is probably, to me, one of the greatest characters in television history, actually. You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? The trial never ends. We wanted to see if you had the ability to expand your mind and your horizons, and for one brief moment you did. Would I realize the paradox? Exactly. For that one fraction of a second, you were open to options you had never considered. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknowable possibilities of existence. Q, what is it you're trying to tell me? You'll find out. In any case, I'll be watching. And if you're very lucky, I'll drop by to say hello from time to time. See you out there. Yeah, that probably was the most intimate way I connected with my father when I was young too. Honestly. Alexandra, noise canceling headphones are a lifestyle in this little corner of the internet. Cattail. I sound like Ghostface, huh? What does he say? What does he say in his voicemail? I saw most of the movies. I haven't seen the most recent one. I'm in the house. Something like that. Hello, Sydney. What's my favorite scary movie? I haven't seen a scary movie in years, but I know I've answered this before. I'm less about scary movies these days than I have been in the past. The main reason for that is I'm just going to say I have such a sensitive system that I get enough I get enough conflict in my real life. I don't need to indulge in it on TV, but I do see the value of it. I do love Stranger Things. That's great. I don't know. I don't even really know that I would put Stranger Things in the horror category, even though I know it has horror like themes. Um, I really love the Cabin. The that that famous director did. The guy who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Joss Whedon. He did a horror film called The Cabin. That movie is great. I love that movie. But if we're talking like hard horror, like real hard horror, Cabin in the Woods, yeah. Um, Real like the hard horror stuff. Probably my favorite one that I've seen in my lifetime is Martyrs. It's a French film. I never saw The Fog. I never saw it either. There are certain movies that I just like, you know what? I just don't need that in my psyche as I'm drifting off to sleep at night. Um, because I mean, just how sensitive I was to. I have been to horror movies throughout my life. I used to have nightmares about Freddy Krueger when I was like 5 years old, and I'd never seen the movie before. I just happened to see like movie trailers on TV, and I think I saw a couple of the neighborhood kids wearing a Freddy Krueger mask during Halloween season one year, and that ruined me for the rest of my childhood. It definitely has ruined an entire generation around clowns. Probably the closest horror movie, Star Trek movie, First Contact. I think First Contact is probably my favorite Star Trek film. Wrath of Khan is great. I love Wrath of Khan. My personal favorite is First Contact. Well, we got some requests to read here. Let's just get into it. I think we're starting off with an emailed request. Let's just see here. hmm I got to stop talking about my iPad now because you people are trying to make me get a new one. You people. What are you talking? What do you mean by you people? Excuse me. Let's see. All right. This says Monday request. My Monday so far by Lenore. Okay. It says, I woke up suddenly not knowing where I was for a moment. Everything was quiet, eerily quiet. But the light was coming through the bedroom window, assured me my room, my bed, and last night. Last night was just a dream, right? I stretched under the covers, feeling joints pop in that satisfying way that meant, yeah, I slept good and deep. Time to get up and get the day started. Morning routines aren't routines if you don't do them, and it's a Monday. I like Mondays. I hummed as I moved around, getting through my morning chores, vocal exercises, reading emails, replying to some DMs, checking the socials quickly, writing ideas down for future meditations and audios. Just a normal morning. And then my phone went off. I looked at the phone and the reminder said, post for storytime requests. Good looking. I blinked. What the fuck? I checked the time. It's 9:30. I shook my head, chalked it up to sleep, and carried on. But yes, I did post the request thread, and the rest of the morning passed quietly. My phone chimed again. 11:45. Another reminder? Set up for the live in 30 minutes, darling. I stared at it. I did not write that. I did a quick equipment check, humming as I went, mics, pop filters, lighting, tea, chewy smoothie. I set the phone up in the ring light, making sure the phone and iPad batteries are fully charged. Let's get this started. Camera on, live started, set out notifications, hi and welcome, get the Palo Santo burning, look at chat. Orcus, where's the fur throw from the chair? Back. I turn around. It's not there. Did I wash it? No. Did the kids? No. Again? Then where? Someone exclaims that Pete has been moved to a different shelf. Wait, Pete? I didn't move Pete. Is someone playing around? The dragon was perched one shelf higher, angled just slightly off-center, as if somebody had moved with intention and amusement. Then my alarm went off on the phone. I tried to turn it off, but another one started. I turned that off. No, another one starts. The chat is whizzing by so fast with comments. I have to pause the live to check the phone. Okay, that label is definitely not mine. Double-checking settings, scrolling through the alarm list. There are so many. The most are ones I recognize, but at least a few feel off. Did I sleep edit these? I resume the live with a laugh and say, whoever did this, I hope you're proud. The chat is wild, talking about ghosts and such, but then someone says, I heard a laugh. Did anyone else hear that? The chat freezes for a moment. I do that slow blink. What laugh? Then I listen. Silence. Then, faintly, barely audibly, a soft, distant laugh. Not threatening, just mischievous. Feminine voices, Seraphine's velvet, and Nyx's low, smoldering undertone. I sit up straight. Wait, last night was a dream. And out of the corner of my eye, in the reflection of one of the monitors, two shadowy figures walking away, one with a pair of headphones, the other with the fur. I blink hard, once, twice, a small shake of his head. Okay, I mutter. I look at the phone, the ring light, the chat, still screaming in emojis and capital letters. I take a breath, but professional mode re-engaged. All right, I say, voice steady, but eyes still wide. Next request. And just like that, as if nothing happened at all, I continue the live. A tiny shiver works down my spine, but I keep reading, because what else do you do when two laughing shadows steal into your life, cause mayhem, take souvenirs, and vanish? You go on with your Monday, very, very carefully. I think this story has a connection point recently. That was, what was that? My Monday So Far by Lenore. Hey, hey, wee woo. Chewy smoothies. That's right. I did not make my chewy smoothie today. Thank you very much. I have to catch up on the, okay. Alexandra asks, any advice if you want to start voice acting, but opposite you then? Female voice stuff. Any advice for starting voice acting? I think it depends, obviously, on what kind of voice acting you want to do. If you're interested in doing voice acting of the spicy romance book genre variety, the spicy fantasy variety, you need to connect to a certain part of you and speak from that part. You kind of have to become what you say. Merely practical. I mean, I think the best way to do it these days is to just start your own channel. Get on Reddit, go to Gone Wild Audio, start a TikTok, build an audience. Start looking for where the people who are looking for you go, and then do something to get their attention. And then once you have their attention, keep getting their attention over and over again until you build a following. And then certain channels won't be able to deny you anymore. And a good idea also, good rule of thumb, is to do something that helps you to stand out from everybody else. Oh yeah. In fact, I think women are the dominant force in the audio industry. It just happens that that companies like Quinn have attracted a lot of the male VAs, but there is just as large, if not larger, an audience for female VAs as far as women to men audio work, definitely. And I think men tend to be a lot more willing to spend money to actually subscribe to something. And yes, Pete has been lit already, Lenore. Yeah, no problem. I'm always down to help people get further into this world. It's not a linear path, but really the best path that I found is to build one's own following. You kind of have to become a brand Brand unto yourself. There's a woman that I would suggest following. I think her name is Eloise, narrator, Eloise, narrator. She basically she just started a TikTok account, bought some equipment and started just doing narration stuff. She started inviting other popular narrators to read with her. She just started doing the legwork and developed a following and just was relentless. And now she's doing big books next to really famous male MCs, and it's great. Hi, Leah. Welcome. Anastasia, I have done a couple of video games. Nothing recent though. It's been a long time. I did a couple of video games when I was in my early 20s. Seeking Goosebumps. Hello. Which games? Let me see. Louise, do I sing? Sometimes I'll sing. I do have a few singing TikToks on here. I've got a water glass and a tea cup. Thank you. Jessica, thank you for joining us. It was lovely having you. Smudge, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yep. My weekend's been lovely, thank you. Yeah. Restful. My children are already going to visit their mother's family, so they're not here, and I both miss them, and I'm delighted that I have a little bit of time to myself. Amanda, I think we're all a little bitey today, definitely. Oh, Smudgy. When did the payback start? I mean, maybe mine was just payback for something. Which superhero? Anastasia, you know what? Superhero, I would love to do. I mean, I would love to do Nightcrawler. Or maybe I don't know. I could probably pull off a Juggernaut. I feel like that's probably more in my wheelhouse. Darkwing Duck. The Darkwing Duck. Yep. Bow before Zod. Something like that. Okay, let's move on. This is from engdick.org. I don't know the author. Clouds in the sky, a tempest unfurled, dark and foreboding like the end of the world. Lightning does crack, thunder does roar, chaos unleashed. Peace is no more. Anger's a storm brewing inside, swallowing sunshine where feelings reside. Wind lashes out, rain starts to pour, smothering calmness, it's war, evermore. But after the storm, the silence so grand, the world still exists, and here I still stand. I learn from the storm its fury and might, and wait for the day when the sky again's bright. I am the terror. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am Darkwing Duck. Anywho, back to our regular programming. Didn't Darkwing Duck have a lisp? I can't remember. God, that's a show I haven't seen in a while. You know, that show, Darkwing Duck and oh God. The offshoot of DuckTales that was that had the airplanes. What was the airplane one? The one with Baloo as the airplane pilot? Tailspin. That's it. Tailspin. Yeah, Chris, go look up Tailspin. If you know Darkwing Duck but you don't know Tailspin, you've missed a vast part of your childhood. So, has another request here. It says, what more can I do? Do you want me on my knees? Do you want me begging? Do you want me screaming for you? Your scent drives me wild. Your very presence carries a weight that I cannot escape. But I cannot touch you the way that I need to. I cannot watch you yield to me under the burning desire of my kisses. Your eyes lock with mine, and I am driven to a point of madness. You brush past me and my knees buckle. I study your step as if you were my prey, because my love would devour you if you let it. How long must I wait before I can claim you? I don't even remember the Tailspin theme song, to be honest. I have to go back and reacquaint myself. Oh yeah, Gummy Bears, Fraggle Rock, um, Care Bears. You know, we'll just get all the generational cartoons in. Yep, He-Man, She-Ra. She-Ra was always the superior show to He-Man. They just had way more interesting plot lines. Anybody seen the updated She-Ra on Netflix? Like the new She-Ra? It's actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. My 5-year-old self was very pleased. There's a new She-Ra. And, you know, for all of us like old timers, you know, you have to have a little bit of suspension of disbelief. There are a few things that they do change about the original She-Ra show, or there are a few things that they change in the new She-Ra show. It won't make sense for the first like episode or two, but like once it's kind of gets into the flow of the story, it'll all make sense. You just kind of have to have faith. Yeah, the new She-Ra's on Netflix. Oh my God, Gem and the Holograms. I forgot about that one. Phew. Yeah. Allison coming in hot with a question. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? A woodchuck could chuck enough wood to chuck what a woodchuck could. That's the answer. I think I was just young enough to also get into the very first generation of the Power Rangers. I liked the Power Rangers and the VR Troopers personally. Um, but I kind of outgrew them after like a year or two. I think probably because they ran the same storyline every time. It was like, oh, new monster. Let's make this monster giant. And then, okay, all the Rangers combine their powers and then defeat the monster. And then rinse, repeat next episode. I had a really crazy, so I loved the VR Troopers. The woman who played the female VR trooper, that actress. One day I was home from school sick, and my parents will let me watch TV when I was sick. And during the middle of the day, of course, only the soap operas are running. The Bold and the Beautiful, As the World Turns, you know, all of those just daytime staples. And the actress who was on VR Troopers, who played one of the VR Troopers, also happened to be a very salacious character in one of these soap operas. And That just melted my prepubescent brain. Like I couldn't handle it. It was like all of my teenage heartthrob dreams of, this God, I don't know. Because she was playing like this very like sexy demure character in The Bold and the Beautiful, and like yeah, it just turned my childhood crush dreams to 11. I don't even remember what her name was. Captain Planet. Definitely. Captain Planet. Great show. Okay. Here's a great one. There's one of I guess also Thundercats. Thundercats was pretty great. Gargoyles. Yep, great show. You know what I'm really upset about? You can't get Animaniacs anywhere. Animaniacs is not up for streaming anywhere. It blows my mind. You have to buy like Animaniacs is actually super expensive to buy. And I don't get it. I don't get why they do that. You can't rent it on Amazon, like you can't, All right, I am going to continue. The next request is called Still I Rise. Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laughed like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise, up from a past that's rooted in pain I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise into the daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I'm the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. always love reading that one. Follow up from the audio fireside cuddles. I need to know, did we come up with an answer for the question, what wizards don't dress in robes? So someone that is considered a wizard that doesn't dress in robes. One answer, the late Harry Potter films, they don't wear robes, but it seems like a cop-out. Well, oh, yeah, I suppose. I'm more and more coming to the conclusion that wizard and sorcerer are more universal terms than they originally might presuppose. But as far as in fantasy literature and movies, I don't know. Maybe The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nick Cage. I think that'll have to be my answer on that one. You know, how crazy would it be to be a sorcerer? Like a real sorcerer where you actually are wielding forces that at any moment could just, you could do something on accident and blip yourself turn yourself into a cricket, and that's it. You're done. All that time and energy spent on learning something just out the window because you made a mistake and said a word conjugation wrong. That seems a little risky. Let's see. Continuing. Smudgy requests not by Eric Hansen. You are not your age, nor the size of the clothes you wear. You are not a weight or the color of your hair. You are not your name or the dimples in your cheeks. You are all the books you read and all the words you speak. You are your croaky morning voice and all the smiles you try to hide. You're the sweetest, the sweetness in your laughter and every tear you've cried. You're the songs you sing so loudly when you know you are all alone. You're the places that you've been to and the one that you call home. You're the things that you believe in and the people that you love. You are the photos in your bedroom and the future you dream of. You are made of so much beauty, but it seems that you forgot when you decided that you were defined by all the things that you're not. I love that one. I mean, it's kind of one of my favorite sentiments, as like this whole idea that there's only one person who has been there to see you through all the things you've ever been through. All the times you've laughed, all the times you've cried. There's only one person who knows what it's like to be you. And so really there's only one person for whom it is incredibly important to be seen by. And you have to see yourself. It's you. I mean, if there's any question of the power of being seen, you imagine that people love even the faintest echo of a hint that they might be seen by somebody else, even if that person only gets to see, or really in truth only understands or sees about 10% of the problem. That's how much we feel loved by other people. But we have the capability to see ourselves, to walk ourselves through whatever we're going through 100%. We can see everything about ourselves if we do the work. And so we have the power to completely shift the experience that we have. Sorry. Just fucking around with my bracelet. Let's see. Oh. We have a the co-creator request. They call her a witch because she glows in a language only resurrection recognizes. You can't love a woman like her unless you've been to the underworld and left flowers on your own grave. Only the ones who've died before deserve to see her rebirth. She's not the afterlife to your avoidance. She's the heaven that demands you walk through hell first. You can't taste her divinity until you've bitten through your own illusions first. If you've never spilled poetry through your scars, you'll call her chaos when she's actually creation in its truest form. If you've never danced with your demons till dawn, you'll swear she's possessed for loving her shadows out loud. If your hands have never held the parts of you you once abandoned, you'll call her too much when she's only being whole. If you still worship shame, you won't know her name. She's fluent in the language you spent your life suppressing. She burns in colors that don't exist yet. They call her a witch because they can't see beyond grayscale scripture. God forbid a woman glow in frequencies beyond fear. God forbid she remember she's made of light that never asked for permission to bleed. God forbid poets like me fall to their knees and write psalms about it. I feel like that one needs a little air to breathe. Have you ever really loved a woman? A song that's played in one of my longtime favorite movies. I feel like it's one of Johnny Depp's best performances is Don Juan DeMarco. To really love a woman, to understand her, you gotta know her deep inside, hear every thought, see every dream, and give her the wings when she wants to fly. Then when you find yourself lying helpless in her arms, you know you really love a woman. When you love a woman, you tell her that she's really wanted. When you love a woman, you tell her that she's the one. 'Cause she needs somebody to tell her that it's gonna last forever. So tell me, have you ever really, really ever loved a woman? To really love a woman, let her hold you till you know how she needs to be touched. You've got to breathe her, really taste her, till you can feel her in your blood. And when you see your unborn children in her eyes, you know you really love a woman. When you love a woman, you tell her that she's really wanted. When you love a woman, you tell her that she's the one, 'cause she needs somebody to tell her that you'll always be together. So tell me, have you ever really, really, really ever loved a woman? Have you ever really loved a woman by Bryan Adams? The movie's called Don Juan DeMarco, starring Johnny Depp and Marlon Brando, of all people. I think it's one of Marlon Brando's final movie roles. But it's an incredibly insightful movie. Very funny, too. Middle by Jimmy Eat World. Hey, don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head. You feel left out or looked down on. Just try your best. Try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves. When you're away, it just takes some time. Little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be all right. All right. Hey, you know they're all the same. You know you're doing better on your own. On your own. So don't buy in. Live right now. Yeah. Just be yourself. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. Chris asks, how is No Nut November going? It's going very well, thank you very much. I mean, yeah, I've been practicing semen retention for the better part of 10 years. And it's, I mean, I'm not religious about it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am in a certain line of work. Has everybody listened to the audio that I've released today already? They're seeking goosebumps. What does retaining semen do? So there's this interesting effect. It's like a yin and yang, like feminine bodied people versus male bodied people. For men, it's when you retain the energy and sort of move it up your body, it energizes everything. You're more alert, you're more present, you're more creative, you just have more energy for life in general. And for men who are used to just exploding off multiple times a day, maybe when they're young, they can do that and feel fine, but like that catches up real fast. And it can, and it can feel unfamiliar to hold that energy in. But I'm going to say that a lot of my semen retention practices is what fueled being able to create this. Creating Orcus Auditory was as a result of semen retention. Because, that tension has to go to some creative outlet. It's the opposite is true for women. Women need to have more of that orgasmic flow to get the energy moving. However, there is a caveat, and this is more of a theory. I don't have anybody who can anatomically, I haven't been able to read whether this is anatomically true, but I actually believe that men and women can have what we could call feminine orgasms versus male orgasms. So a male orgasm is like a clitoral orgasm. It's like that big explosive release that just leaves you completely wasted afterwards. Hang on. All right. But a feminine orgasm is the one, and so like the male orgasm is the one that you have to like tighten and clench and like get your body like to like move energy through, and then the release happens and it feels huge and amazing, and then you're just exhausted afterwards. That's the male orgasm. And women can do that too. In fact, a lot of women think that's the only way to orgasm, which, I happen to think that the brain makes it capable to orgasm in an infinite number of ways. But the big sort of major orgasmic capability, yeah. Now, there is also what I would call the feminine orgasm, which is sort of like that type of orgasm requires surrender. It requires relaxation. It requires just letting your body just feel and expand and surrender and letting go. And the more that we can do that, the more pleasure we can experience. And feminine orgasms, you can have as many as you want. And every feminine orgasm that you have will just amplify the energy more. So that's why, people who have mastered the feminine orgasms basically can have hours of sex and then and then get out of bed and be like, great, I feel great, let's go. There's sort of this like energy behind it. And men can have feminine orgasms too, often called a prostate orgasm. But, a lot of men, unfortunately, in our culture are not attuned to that and don't know how to surrender. And I actually think it would completely revolutionize our culture if more men learned how to do that. Chris, that is fascinating. I am curious how true that might be for other people. I bet you didn't expect an entire talk on how the energy of how orgasms work, but here we are. And yeah, I mean, it kind of, it makes like all this stuff about masculine and feminine orgasm, like, it's a very well educated theory for me. I've been married in the past. My ex-wife was somebody who was very good at male style orgasm. She would get to a peak and have this explosive release, and then she was done. She was knocked out. Like, didn't want any more sex. Was just like, I'm good, and she would just, pass out. And then I would have other partners who somehow would, other partners in the past that somehow sort of mastered this feminine orgasm, this release. And it was just like this cyclical thing that just kept building and releasing and building and releasing and building and releasing. And the more that they relaxed into it. And I just noticed the stark difference of experience. So, yeah, like I said, largely a theory, but I think there's something really interesting there for the discerning person who might be wanting to explore themselves. I do have a place to explore that stuff. You can go through my profile and look for my Pleasure Magic course, and all those conversations are being had in that space. Okay, everybody, I'm at the end of my time. I hope I'm very excited and happy that we've gotten to spend a little bit of time here. I send you all love, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I love you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.